Is it possible to fuse LA salsa, Cuban salsa, samba, and the Charleston in an urban kids social dance in less than 90 seconds? Let's find out. All right, guys, so this is a new format of content that I'm trying out here. I was filmed social dancing with Miss Blasian here, and I found some nuggets of things that I found that made that dance really, really awesome. And I wanted to highlight them and talk about like what goes on when you're social dancing, what goes on in a dance reflection, how my brain works, and hopefully it'll give you some context of how you can analyze your own dance and your social dancing, or give you some ideas of things to train and things that I see with my eye after being around the dance scene so much. So we're going to try to make this as short as possible, but really, really fun dance. Two things to get out of the way. This is at a social that happened in Austin, Texas not too long ago at Esquina Tango, one of our local long-standing studios. I will link them below. DJ is DJ Art. He has some really awesome mixes and instrumentals and remixes on his SoundCloud channel. I'll mix that below. And the song that we're dancing to is by DJ Zyke's Black Panther. As you can see here, it's going to have a very nice vibe to it as well. So that is also in the description here to make sure that I gave everybody a shout out, because lots of things made this event possible. It was definitely one of our first events that we had here where we were dancing indoors versus outdoors. So let's go ahead and jump right in with the video here. So we're starting off. So what I really liked about this first 6 seconds here is that I gave Rika a little bit of a turn here coming through, and I also moved with her. And so she was turning, I want to say that's counterclockwise, and I also started turning counterclockwise to kind of match the turn that she was doing. And we both came out and finished into basic 2, and she does this little hype move to finish and hit the 1 in the music. So that little turn that we started with us both turning counterclockwise started on the 5, which allowed us to finish on the 1. So for you intellectual, technical people there, that is something to really be aware of. That's something that I find myself doing a lot on the social dance floor, is to start a move on 5. That move happened to be 4 counts. So you have 5, 6, 7, 8, boom, on the 1, you're prepared for something that is going to fall on the 1. So starting again at the top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. So that was really nice. I noticed that, and I kind of give Rika some hype. Boom. So after we finish the turn here, I start to lead Rika. Since we were further apart in the 1, I started to lead her from the forearms. I do want to make sure here leads, if you do try a forearm lead, is definitely on the skin level. Skin, muscle, bone is one of the concepts that I teach in general, and also on Learn to Kids. We'll talk about that more later, but definitely on the forearm level. So it's not compressing, it's not forceful or anything of that nature. And we're able to do a syncopated follower saída to exit. That happened on the 2. I have a whole series on leveling up your saídas and how to play around with basic tempos in your saídas. There's 4 different videos, almost an hour worth of content of how to level up your saídas. If you're interested in seeing that, that is linked in the description. And I've gotten really good feedback on that, so make sure you check out that to level up your saídas. So coming around the turn here, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. So now the fact that I was on top of her arms here allowed me to kind of come up to her shoulders for this next move. And there was another 1 that was happening that was also going to give like a really good, a stronger beat on the 1. And so I'm kind of doing these King Kong inspired steps that allowed me to do a stronger touch of the bellies on that 1, which is something that's very, very, very characteristic of Semba. Semba actually means a touch of the bellies. And so it was awesome to have that Semba belly touch in an urban kids dance. So that's a lot of content. Let's go back and rewind it from the beginning, and you can see everything in context. Yeah. So we're coming around into a shuffle, both counterclockwise in the turn. Rika accents, I accent, I acknowledge that. 7 and 8 and 1. So that was a 5-burst syncopation here. You're gonna see more of those in the dance, but typically in urban kids, our syncopations are 3 bursts. Boom, boom, boom. So we have 3 elements there that can fall on different counts in the music. And in that case, we had a 7 and 8 and 1. So 5 different elements in a 5-burst syncopation. That's what I call them. Very common in urban kids. But the 3 bursts are definitely more common for sure. So also really likes the stronger masemba as well, the touch of the bellies, and she starts to laugh, and that laugh is just very nice to hear. Encouraging. 6, 7, 8, boom. Okay. And 5, 6, 7, and 8, and boom. We're both cracking up. We're dancing. Boom. So what was really cool here is that I took the partnership into here's another 3-burst syncopation here that happened, kind of into tic-tac-toe here, turning around, into a double arm wrap that you're seeing here. And so with that double arm wrap, that allowed us to really move through and control what was happening there. So all of this, taking that, I kind of did a shuffle step here, boom, 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 opened up. And then through here, I unwrapped, and this happened on the 7 and 8. Yeah, 7 and 8, and that allowed a pause for the 1, and we both were able to accent that 1 in our own ways in this kind of extended arm connection that we had here. So to rewind just a little bit here, boom, boom, time, 7 and 8, 1, 2, 3. 7, 8. There's another kind of salsa wraparound move as I wrap our connection around Mrs. Blasian's hip. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. So I don't know what inspired me to do the Charleston in this particular instance, but I was very pleased that I started doing the Charleston, and Miss Blasian, being the awesome dancer that she is, was able to catch my vibe and also follow that vibe with me on the social dance floor. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A nice flow connection point for sure. I did some research on the Charleston. It was back in the 20s with the flappers, and it was very like a provocative dance because the women were doing it, and I guess there was a move where their legs were more in an open position, and so people got really crazy about it. So yeah, that move is almost 100 years old. So far, we've had some salsa turns, we've had samba moves, and we've had the Charleston as well. And the salsa stuff that we've done so far has been more on the LA side of things. We also mentioned Cuban salsa, so there's another element here. So coming back from that turn there, coming through, bam, 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 doom, 7 and 8, 1 and 3 and 5, 6, 7, 8, Charleston, do the Charleston, do the Charleston, hey, nice exit point, and I'm just finding a way to bring her back. And 1, we have 1 turn, 2 turns, 1, 3, 5. So that was 5 turns total that just happened there in a very, very salsa-like way. My first partner dance was salsa, so these turns feel very second nature to me. Miss Blasian is also a very talented dancer from a solo perspective, and also like with the Latin side of things. So we kind of gel on that aspect of it. And so I felt very confident leading her through those spins. And I will count those again here for you. 1 turn, 2 turns, and 3, 4, 5. So that last turn, there was 3, 4, and 5 was happening on the 7, 8, and 1, which allowed us to kind of accent that. And she kind of took the end of that turn to kind of accentuate her hip and like milk that 1 that I kind of turned her into. So a very cohesive partnership of like turning her into the accent on the 1. And so, da 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 ba boom. She comes out with her hand on her hip with some sass. Da boom and 1. Swivel saída. 3-point close. Ba ba ba. 6, 7. So this move right here is actually one of my favorite moves here. It's kind of like behind the back shoulder turn move. I teach this move specifically on my online membership site at learntokids.com. Find out how you can get a week free, 7-day free trial in the description below. I download my brain across all these different concepts. So there's lead follow concepts, there's moves, there's musicality, there's history, there's all kind of things where I'm just downloading my brain of things that I've learned through Kizomba over the years. So check that out. That move, back reach shoulder turn, executed to the music of hitting 8 and 1, a 3-burst syncopation to allow us to accentuate another end of the 16 count phrase. 16 count phrasing is something that can take your dancing to the next level, especially dancing the full 4 music. I won't get into all of the musicality details because that's a whole nother concept. I am working on the beginning workings of a musicality course, and if you're interested in filling out a survey to help me formulate the content that's going to be in that course, there's also a link in that as well. I know I do a lot of content, and so all these descriptions are down below. Musicality course, the ultimate musicality course for dancers. If you want to be a part of that and earn up to 50% off when that gets launched, check out the description below. So I really like this turn here that comes through and accentuating the end of a phrase. Boom. 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1. So this is where the Cuban salsa is coming into place. There is a Cuban move called the tornillo, where the follower kind of dances around the lead in a circular fashion. This comes from Cuban dance, either Cuban son or rumba. I'm not sure exactly which one did it first. And it's also very prevalent in samba as well, where the follower or the lead will lean on the follower, or the follower will walk around the lead and allow the lead to kind of like spin on their axis one-footed. And so I took this move, kind of excited since I did the back reach shoulder turn, and I kind of started doing this one-legged hop with my hand on my head. And you know that one hip hop move where you have your hand on your head and you start dancing around? Maybe I was also inspired by that. And the musicality of that move was a 5-burst syncopation again, 7 and 8 and 1. And so going back again, bop, bop, boom. And 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1. That was a nice moment. Bop, boom, boom, boom. The cool thing about this particular moment is that I threw into the one of the music, and with her awesome following skills, she was able to read that, do a rock step, and come back to dance in the partnership again. So one thing that I really tried to get the followers to be aware of is what is the phrasing, what is the structure of the music, because those are gonna give you clues and hints of how to interact in the dance and what may be coming up as the changes of the music flow through, yeah? If most of your mental capacity is always tied up in trying to dissect the conversation of what's being led and what's being followed, like you have to keep training that to clear up the mental capacity to get to the point to where now you can give most of your mental capacity to following the ins and outs of the music and the intricacies, the elements and the patterns and things of that nature. And Miss Blasian does this very well, which is why it's such a pleasure dancing with her. And she comes back with this little, hey, we jamming, and we just kind of keep dancing and vibing off each other, which is really fun to come back into the partnership again. Very nice moment. 7 and 1, 8 and 1, I'm sorry. Bop, ba-dum, bing, bing, ba-da, and 1. Another little hand toss turn, which is very salsa-esque. 6, 7, 8, 1. So that particular moment here, we kind of had a moment of miscommunication going on, and I wasn't sure what was going to be happening. My dance spirit felt that there was a change or a hit coming up in the music at the end of the one, and Miss Blasian, being the awesome follower that she is, took the leg that did not have any weight on it and did a little scorpion leg flick to accent the one that was not led by me. That was her taking initiative to express the music, which is beautiful to have in a follower. And so, yeah, this was a really fun dance. And then from there, we just kind of like finish it all to go through. So lots of different elements here in this dance overall, lots of aspects. In the moment, obviously, I'm not thinking of all of these different things all at once. It's kind of like an unconscious competence thing. We have the 4 stages of learning. You know, stage 1 is unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence to conscious competence to unconscious competence. And I feel like a lot of these things I understand, but in the moment of dancing, you're just like on creativity, imagination, playfulness in the dance. And it's really awesome to kind of like now, after the dance is going through, coming back and kind of analyze what proficiencies and what things are you applying to your dance in that particular moment. And this was just 90 seconds. Like imagine like you had like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours of data of your dancing to kind of see what your patterns and trends tend to be. So I'm going to play this one more time from the beginning and kind of call things out as I'm seeing them. This was a very, very fun dance. Miss Blasian came down to do some training and to hang out in Austin. One last thing before we go through here. This is also one of the second time that I'm wearing tagadas to come and social dance, and which are more popular in the zouk dancing. I love these shoes. They allow a lot of sliding to happen on the dance floor. The Charleston was able to happen because I felt like more loose on the dance floor. Also, the Cuban salsa move where I'm kind of hopping around Rica also was able to happen because of the sliding that I had on these shoes. Very minimalist shoe. I want to give a shout out to Mindy, my girl in LA, who hooked me up with these shoes. If you guys want to try out the tagadas, I know they're not very common in the urban kids world, but there's a link of that in the description as well to check her out on IG. Highly recommended dance shoe, and I have some more coming in the mail. So I'm really, really excited here. So again, from the top, I hope you guys appreciate this content. We'll just go through one more time and that'll be the end of the video. But I felt inspired to kind of share the things that I noticed in this particular social dance, which is probably my strength overall. I feel I love playing around on the dance floor. So here we go. One more time. And 1 and 3 and 5, 6, turning both of us on the 1, forearm lead, tiny Masemba, King Kong into Masemba. Another 44, syncopated Saida. Another syncopation 3 burst, 7 and 8, 1. That was a 3 burst syncopation coming through. And we're doing the Charleston. My name is also Charles, by the way. Dot, dot, doom. Coming around, finding how to reconnect, walking backwards, opposing touch, 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 and 4 and 5, rolling through, whopping around, Rika sass hips, coming through, another touch, 7, 8 and touching, swivel Saida coming through, 3-point close, syncopate, bop, back shoulder reach, rap, bop, boom. Another 3 burst syncopation, hand on the head, and 1. 5 burst syncopation there, coming through, bop, bop, 1. Beautiful rock step jamming by Miss Blasian, coming through, shoulder turn, beautiful follower moment, and boom. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So much fun dancing that particular social. So thank you, Skinner Tango. Thank you, DJ Art. Thank you, DJ Zykes. Thank you guys who have watched this video. If you really like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.